What is good, YouTube? Welcome back to the channel. My name is Ace. Today we're going to be reacting to a video by SeththeProgrammer. It's what if Minato fought the real Madara. I'm excited for this video. Okay, real quick, short answer, I believe he's going to get clapped. But I want to see the details that SeththeProgrammer is going to bring into the video. I'm excited to see what he'll say. Because you guys don't know, Minato is one of my favorite characters. It's either between Pain and Minato in the whole Shippuden franchise. I think he's just an OP character. He's really strong. He's amazing. He's smart, tactical, etc. So I just want to see how he'll fare against the real Madara. And I don't know if he's talking about like the Madara when he was in his prime, or like the future Madara after the war or during the war. But yeah, we'll see. This is my reaction to it. Make sure you guys like, comment, subscribe. Let me know what else you want me to react to. Make sure you go get some snacks or drink and sit back and enjoy.
Hello everyone, it's your host, SeththeProgrammer, and today we're going to be going over a little hypothetical that I thought would be kind of interesting to talk about. This hypothetical is based off the comparison Minato made to Obito, saying that nobody should be able to slip into the village and control the Nine Tails with such efficiency unless it was Madara Uchiha himself.
I'm going to pause it already because this is what I'm talking about. Minato is such a smart character. I saw this post on TikTok about 4 characters from Shippuden. He's like, who do you think is the smartest? And it's honestly a valid question. It's Itachi, Minato, Shikamaru, and Shukaku. They're all arguably very smart. If you see Minato, even though he was half right, he saw Obito when they were fighting, and then he instantly thought, like, there's no way this could have been just anyone. It had to be someone like Madara. And he was half right about it.
Obito doesn't confirm or deny this, however, Minato goes into battle with that in mind, and while he is certainly on edge,
no regrets.
He is almost confident and level-headed in his confrontation with someone who may be one of the most legendary shinobi of all time,
Sheesh.
Let alone the present, and the legends that surround him, and Madara's namesake being considered power within itself, something that the entire shinobi world recognizes even in the 4th Great Ninja War. Yet here's Minato ready to try and protect the village with everything he has, even after being caught by surprise by Obito's Kamui, which Minato refers to as a space-time ninjutsu that surpasses both his and the second Hokage Tobirama Senju's flying Raijin. So, what if Minato was fully on the money and he actually had to face the real Madara Uchiha? How would that actually go? Before we get started though, let me just take a moment and say that if you haven't already, please consider subscribing and liking the video. If you do
subscribe to his channel, guys. He's got some dope content. Also subscribe to my channel.
Me and my videos with other people all the time, and it's really awkward because they forget to subscribe, so try not to make that mistake yourself. Minato Namikaze is a shinobi described as having a natural-born talent like a shining glint, only being rivaled by characters like Itachi Uchiha, who became a Jinchuriki slaying Akatsuki member anywhere debatably between 12 and 14, depending on who you ask, and Gaara, who became Kazekage before Naruto even finished training with Jiraiya to learn the giant Rasengan, despite being near in age. Minato also slayed thousands of rock shinobi almost single-handedly.
What a beast, my guy. Holy crap.
Ninja War for the Leaf side of things, only ever repeatedly fighting foes like Unruly A, the son of the 3rd Raikage, and the perfect Jinchuriki of the Hachibi, Killer B, and possibly all the others they could have had in their platoons from time to time, maybe even...
That's the thing I want to talk about. I know in Naruto Shippuden, the 5th Raikage basically tells Naruto, I know your father, we fought many times. I'm just going to go out and say it, dude. I'm pretty sure A got bodied every single time. They probably fought like 3 or 4 times. And I mean, we only saw one fight in the actual show. I don't know about the manga or like the data books, but like I've only seen one fight in the anime. And Minato basically bodied him in B. So I have to imagine all other fights were like that. There's no way that Unruly A could have stood a chance against Minato.
Or C could have been involved, we're not too sure. This earned Minato the namesake the Yellow Flash, and would be praised by all other ninja as being the greatest in godlike speed.
Run on sight, baby.
It got so bad with Minato pretty much solo stomping the Rock Village that Inoki didn't really know how to respond.
I remember that.
Orochimaru's strange descent into madness is what would allow Minato to become the 4th Hokage. Now, while the Uchiha being manipulated by Obito on the sidelines didn't like Minato being chosen over Fugaku, Bijou, the rest of the ninja world kind of understood why he was put there and respected the decision.
Look at this. They got Choji's clan, the Akamichi, and they got the Inuzuka clan right here with a dog. I don't know who the guy in the back is though.
Failures, and those would come back to haunt him when Obito alongside the Nine Tails would attack Konoha. Now, while Minato could have actually survived the Nine Tails attack on Konoha, this would result in the loss of the Nine Tails and the Bijou balance would be destroyed, and the motherly message he wanted Naruto to hear from Kushina, so he sacrificed himself. He wasn't technically defeated by the Nine Tails attack as much as
he bodied everyone that day.
Teleporting the Nine Tails around his Bijou bombs and then defeating Obito. And this entire situation, as I said earlier, is presented as a sacrifice, not really a defeat, in which Minato claims that his family is shinobi and that is their duty to do things like that. Despite Kushina claiming that sealing the Nine Tails away is possible without him dying, I outlined more of this in my Minato's Underrated video, which a lot of you seem to enjoy, and I recommend to those who haven't seen it.
Might have to check it out. Let me know
whether or not Minato would have this same ability against the actual Madara Uchiha, and whether Obito was just so hacks that he could somewhat stall out Minato, or if Madara is such a powerhouse that hacks abilities don't even matter. While we went over Minato's lore, we have to go over some of his actual scaling. Minato is often presented as a very high Kage-level combatant. This is consistent in all actuality, as we know that even with just a kunai, let alone a jutsu, a younger Minato that probably wasn't even in his prime quite yet was able to cut through the perfect Jinchuriki of the Eight Tails and his partial transformations with just the said kunai, and arguably a young Unruly A who could fight the full Eight Tails and chop apart its horns.
This is my favorite part, because you gotta realize at that point when Unruly A attacked Minato, at that point I remember in the anime he said, "I'll attack him using my fastest speed." Or no, B is the one who said it. He's like, he matched bro at his top speed is what he said, I think. I don't remember for sure, but something along those lines. This dude Minato flicked his kunai and teleported, like in prime, or not prime, but like as a young Minato, while Unruly A was at his top speed, which is insane, dude. He's already faster than him.
Full power with a Rasengan. Killer Bee's partial transformations being able to catch small Bijou bombs from Kurama, and should actually scale and be relative to his full self's like limbs. And it puts this in a considerable tier by the fourth Raikage, thinking that he was convinced nobody could actually have defeated Minato, which would of course include B, who fought him many times, as stated in the databooks and even shown on panel. But in terms of speed, we know Jonin Minato can blitz around Jonin A by a considerable margin, and Naruto's ability to react to the fourth Raikage was considered somewhat like a yellow flash feat. Even the second and third Hokages recognize Minato's speed in the war as phenomenal, and he's able to react and teleport away a 10 Tails Bijou Dama and teleport at a long distance away. He's also able to react to the full 9 Tails and is generally considered uncontested when it comes to speed.
On God.
You kind of gather that Minato, lore-wise, is considered a step above perfect Jinchuriki for the most part. He's generally considered to be stronger or able to defeat the Akatsuki members individually, although there may be some debatable exceptions like Itachi and
nah,
he's not at all.
He's taking Itachi, hands down. Like, I'm sorry, Itachi fans. I love Itachi too. He's clapping Itachi. There's a whole video that I saw a while ago on Suikage's channel. Watch that if you guys don't agree with me. It's how Minato versus Itachi. Minato basically bodies Itachi most forms. I think the only form where Itachi might win is if like... No, actually, I don't think there's any form. Minato wins all forms.
Impressed with Pain in comparison to the threat of Obito coming back in the future, who he already defeated. Despite the fact that in the original weekly run of the manga, Pain was actually stated to be the strongest man in the Akatsuki, at least in terms of raw power. If you think someone can defeat Pain with like hacks or something else, then sure, but in terms of raw power, they state Pain is the strongest, and Minato thought he wasn't as big as a threat as Obito and merely a puppet. Now, whether this is because Obito is insanely fast, or he's insanely hacked, or he can summon and control the Nine Tails, might be a factor here, rather than just his base, punching power, but regardless, that's generally where Minato scales. Minato also has many other abilities that sort of raises his tier astronomically, which I will go over later. Madara, on the other hand,
what's that? We're getting into Madara.
Just scoffs at the idea of Bijou and Kage entirely, and is kind of his own animal.
I love the
We'll be
music.
talking about a live Madara that fought Hashirama in the past. Regardless of whether you think a live Madara is stronger than his Edo counterpart, it's not really all too necessary for Madara scaling, as honestly both should be kind of capable of performing their own feats. Like, for instance, scaling to the Nine Tails, you should be able to output as much energy as summoning meteors. That has actually been
Who remembers that episode and she put it? That was insane. One of my favorite episodes. My God.
Before, so it's not really too big of a deal, but Madara already stated that his battle with the five Kage was nothing in comparison to his fight with Hashirama.
It was fighting
He
children.
pretty much no-diff them with his Susanoo, destroying A, Tsunade, Anoki, Gaara, and Mei like nothing, despite teamwork though, you know? He also faced off against Hashirama. Hashirama was able to face Madara's perfect Susanoo and the complete Nine-Tails
Many times, bro.
A character who Madara and even Kabuto were convinced nobody could ever compete with, and Kabuto thought that no one alive could actually contest Madara except for Hashirama. So there's some interesting statements there when it comes to power scaling. A lot of people try to make a large contrast between Hashirama and Madara due to this. However, their powers are far closer than you probably think, as we know that Madara amped the Nine Tails to be able to fight Sage Hashirama with his majestic attire Susanoo.
Oof.
Sage mode having a massive increase
Dude,
in power
Hashirama,
increase,
Madara,
on
they
its
were
own,
beasts.
and giving
My
the Nine Tails the
God.
ability to actually rip off almost all of the arms of his Sage Buddha statue. Even after the Nine Tails was subdued, Hashirama was also still in Sage mode, which is what people forget, meaning he was still beyond his base power in their fight, yet Madara was able to push Hashirama to such an extreme that Hashirama could do nothing but collapse from exhaustion after their battle was completed.
Except
Even then,
that was a
some
clone.
argue that Madara might have actually been on equal terms, having only been caught off guard by Hashirama's wood clone. There's another argument that Hashirama didn't actually want to kill Madara until the very end, kind of like Six Paths Naruto and Sasuke's battle. However, it still can't be denied that Madara is still in the same weight class, that weight class being above QB level. This is very easily demonstrated even during the War Arc, when Madara is brought back to life and Hashirama says he's regaining his past powers. Even while blind, he shreds apart Sage Naruto and EMS Sasuke with absolutely no difficulty. And
I
even as a
remember that.
heavily suppressed Edo Tensei without even using
Jeez.
Susanoo, he casually can fight off Naruto numerous times. EMS Sasuke, who was
Uchiha
facing
reflection.
Jutsu was just fighting Ten Tails Obito and keeping track of his movements with his Sharingan also, mind you. So obviously in terms of
I remember that. He got stabbed by Sasuke's sword and he dude just started smiling. Like, that's insane.
Minato is quite literally nothing on Madara. The comparison is completely obsolete. In fact, looking at his fight with Obito, where Obito survived a Rasengan directly to his body while only around 14, it might actually be arguable that Minato would have extreme difficulties even damaging Madara whatsoever, if not at all. Because obviously, perfect in Cherokee level is nothing to QB+, because half the QB can kind of poop on all of the Bijou at the same time, pretty much. So obviously, it's not very comparable. Now, while Minato is no slouch in terms of scaling, as he faces off against Zetsu Obito, who's a beast in his own right, and Black Zetsu is actually scared of him, but compared to people beyond the full Nine Tails, this is a rather obsolete comparison, with Black Zetsu Obito at best scaling to around EMS Sasuke, who thought Naruto controlling half the Nine Tails powers was an astronomical feat and gave him insecurity, let alone the full thing, plus Madara and so forth. So in this case, you can almost consider the perfect Susanoo of Madara's to rival the full Nine Tails, possibly higher. Then alongside the actual Nine Tails, Madara's packing over 4 times the firepower QB Chakra mode Naruto has, with only
Sheesh, man.
Nine Tails, and then plus himself, who is dwarfed by Kurama's, as actually shown in the manga. So bare minimum. So there's no feasible scaling opportunity for Minato. The only thing left that he has is his speed and his hacks abilities. He was supposed to be surpassing the 4th Hokage throughout the series, rivaling him with his progressions, and this is supposed to be his speed progression by blitzing the 4th Raikage, in a similar sense that his Rasen Shuriken was his power progression. 2, the Raikage actually trains, so just because Minato could blitz him when they were younger, doesn't mean the same logic or feats would apply when Minato dies and the Raikage gets to train for free in the meantime. 3, the Raikage's speed is only ever surpassed by QB Chakra Naruto, who has no anti-feats when at full power, such as being able to handle suppressed Edo Madara and Obito for long periods of time while simultaneously protecting the entire Shinobi Alliance. So if the Raikage was actually as fast as Minato, it almost wouldn't be inconsistent with much. However, I've also heard counters say Minato simply has Raikage-like combat speed and possibly has way greater reaction speed.
Yeah.
This is in conjunction with his
I agree.
Raijin or say his Shunshin, such as when he helped against Ten Tails Madara later in the war. The only problem with Minato helping against Ten Tails Madara, though, is that it seems like Madara's truth-seeking orbs are consistently countered by lesser members of the cast when they are thrown out, and don't seem to be relative to his true max speed, as even non-8 Gates guy could react to them somewhat previously. Minato's only offensive ability against Madara is with his sealing jutsu that can seal away a complete Nine Tails level opponent at the cost of his life, and whatever sealing jutsu he has in his arsenal that might be Nine Tails level as well.
That's the thing, though. There's so much we didn't get to see about Minato. I know for a fact there has... Well, not for a fact, but my idea, my headcanon is that he has to have more sealing jutsus. There's no way he doesn't. He was married to... Not married, but he had a kid with an Uzumaki. I'm sure she probably taught him some sealing jutsus. Some hidden techniques. We just never got to see them, and it was never written out fully because obviously he died early. But I have a feeling he's got some. I'm not saying he's gonna clap Madara. I'm just saying like he'll definitely put up a good fight against Madara. Like it's not gonna be a 2 or 3 second fight like how Obito clapped all the others, like the Ambu and pretty much everyone else he fought. It's gonna be a good fight.
He might potentially even be too weak to even damage non-Susanoo Madara that could clash with Hashirama, could take complete Super Rasen Shuriken from Sage Naruto, take out EMS Sasuke and Naruto and so on, let alone his actual full power. This is also negating his Edo Tensei feats a bit, which in all actuality do scale to his alive powers. In this case, Minato would have to remove the contract seal from the Nine Tails with Madara, so let's go over a few win conditions and losing conditions for Madara. So, win condition number 1, simply overpower and or out-stamina Minato, which we kind of already went over. Win condition for Madara 2, the majestic attire Susanoo. If this happens, it's an instant lose. There is no
There's nothing, bro.
Argument left to be had. Like
the only thing I can think of is that Minato just straight up Reaper Death Seal, and that's the only defense. But he dies, so it's basically a draw. So either way, nobody wins at that point. And that's if he could even hit it, because I think the Reaper Death Seal takes some time to even hit the opponent or target it. So I mean, you know.
The only way Minato wins is if he prevents this from happening, which not only does Minato have literally nothing to damage the Susanoo, we know that he doesn't have the power to seal away such a vast chakra volume anyway without serious risk, so he can't really do anything to stop Madara from just obliterating the Leaf Village or chasing Minato down until he runs out of stamina. Even if Hiruzen came to help and they 2v1 this, they'd still get pretty much no diff, as Hiruzen could barely handle stalling the base Nine Tails, let alone defeating it with Madara. You also might be able to argue that Minato might...
That would be a really interesting, I guess, scene, though. Like, Hiruzen and Minato try to take out Madara, and Madara's attacking the village. Like, if he came back to life in an alternate reality where Kishimoto wrote it, or instead of Obito attacking the village, it was straight Madara, and Minato and Hiruzen were working together to try to fight him off. That'd be pretty dope.
Might be able to create flying Raijin barriers to teleport Biju bombs. However, the problem with Madara's QB Susanoo is that he can spam Biju bombs like a machine gun.
Yeah.
Like, I'm not even joking. This was shown on panel. He shoots so many Biju bombs that they almost rival the amount of pans.
The problem is that Minato will run out of stamina. Yeah, he's right, because after Minato transported the Nine Tails Biju bomb towards the village, he was like, oh man, I gotta be careful, it's too much chakra.
Level of speed, instant Reaper Death Seals or Nine Tail Seals Madara.
Hold up, I want to see this Hippo fan power. 8 Gate Sky level of speed. Yeah, instant Reaper Death Seal, Nine Tail Seals Madara somehow.
Which even Minato seems to disagree with the ability to do, and then either seals Kurama back into Kushina or dies like he did before. Basically, the win condition for Minato seems like a lot of fan-happy biases that aren't very supported by any of the material in the series.
Yeah, he's not winning, bro.
In my personal opinion, I'd say that the gap is just too massive in terms of power. That Madara would just easily destroy the Leaf, and at worst, you'd have to tire out Minato or catch him by surprise, which, considering even Obito could do and react to him numerous times, it doesn't seem like Minato would ever really get away with anything, especially since we know Obito, even with a Renegon, has been tagged, let alone Kid Obito, who Minato got shook by. Basically, while debates like Minato versus Itachi, Minato versus Pain, can Minato beat Kisame, can Minato beat up Kakazu, while those seem kind of interesting, the interesting debate for Madara is, can Madara defeat the entire Akatsuki? So you can kind of see where the gap kind of comes in. Anyways, guys, I hope you enjoyed the video. I'd love to hear you.
So I enjoyed the video. I mean, the first majority of the video, I think he just pretty much spent talking about each character's abilities, and then towards the end he gives the opinion or the facts. But I agree. I never once thought that Minato could clap Madara. But he is my favorite character, so I know for a fact that he's gonna put up a great fight. He's not gonna go down easily, but he can't win. Madara's too OP. But aside from Madara, Minato's definitely up there as far as one of the strongest, without the gifted powers like everyone else. But yeah, that was my reaction to it. Let me know what you guys thought in the comments down below. Let me know what else to react to, any other videos about anime or any anime show. But yeah, I will see you guys in the next time.